seat, any seat.
All right. All right, we're going to continue here with our post-race press conference here for Duel number 1. We've now been joined by our race winner, Tyler Reddick, driver of the 45 Nasty Beast Toyota.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Very.
Congratulations on that win there. Tell us a little bit about those closing laps and how you were able to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, most of our night was not great. Coming to pit road, about wrecked again. I've gotten pretty good at that, but we survived that. That was fortunate. We lost Martin there on that cycle, but when we come back off pit road, we had good steam. The cars were working good together. We were a little tiny pack of 4 cars, but we had some good momentum, so we were kind of cutting up through the the rest of the cars that pitted a little bit later that weren't quite up to speed yet. So that worked out okay. I feel like we were probably going to end up 5th or so before that caution came out. When that happened, it was just kind of trying to determine, if Logano was going to go behind Ty or not. So once that happened, I kind of just decided to go closest to the front. And, Hocevar, Chase, and Kyle were in front of me, and I was just trying to push them as hard as I can. Carson couldn't really get going till the last lap or so. I think he was kind of waiting. Gave him a good shot. Him and Chase got together, and they went to the bottom, and it kind of opened up the perfect opportunity for me. So, yeah, just got to Kyle's back bumper and got clear to the bottom and took it. So it's kind of good timing.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Talk over there. We'll go ahead and take a couple questions here with Tyler, and to kick us off, we'll go to Jenna.
Jennifer AP for the Nasty Beast. 2 questions. The first one is, what was more exciting, the actual win or the time with Bo after?
Well, yeah, I'm also little myself, but it's a very big patch of grass there in the front stretch. And I looked out there and I thought I saw him. I need to go to the eye doctor probably, but yeah, he was there running across the grass, so that was really, really cool. I didn't know if he was gonna come all the way or not, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to put him in the car and for him to get a ride in it. I think he's gotten to sit in the car pre-race a few times, got to sit in the shop, but it was kind of nice to. It's probably the most careful I've ever driven one of these Cup cars, to be honest with you, back to victory lane, because he was kind of holding on, but it was a lot of fun. The car was loud, and he really, really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I think for me, winning here means a lot. It's been a while since I've done that, but to have him make the trek across the grass there and come join me was really special.
And then yesterday, the Toyotas were down on speed, and then you come and win this race today. You feel any better about where Toyota is headed into Sunday?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. Definitely, yeah. No, we didn't really know where we're going to fall with this car in qualifying trim. Certainly, that was a little bit off from what we expected, but I think a lot of the drivers remain confident going into racing conditions that the car would work better in the draft. I personally didn't really partake in that till late. I saw Martin Truex and Eric Jones working together good in the outside lane. They're able to be pretty aggressive. So I knew, okay, when we get later in this race, I'll be able to be, more aggressive with my pushes than in the past, and it worked out.
All right, we'll come up to Jacob.
Jacob Zillman, Race Face Digital. Was that a just opportunity struck move? Did you have that kind of somewhat planned with where you were in the pack the last couple laps?
I learned a lot from it for sure. I felt like I was far enough back on that restart, like I was going to have to really push aggressively to try and be the first or second car in whichever row I ended up being in, and it just happened to be the top. So being the 4th car in line, I was concerned that if, things didn't start happening, that I would have an opportunity to win the race. And yeah, just timing kind of just struck. I was wearing out Carson's back bumper, trying to get him going. And we got together good one time, and him and Chase were able to clear to the bottom. And I thought at first, like, oh man, this ain't good. But yeah, I was able to get to Kyle, get him back going. And then we came together pretty easily on the back straightaway and was just pushing him hard, and was able to, like I said, had an opportunity to go low or high once we got clear of the pack a little bit. And I'd say more than anything too, once I got as far out as I did. I was kind of concerned about it, but they were 3 wide, so they kind of stalled each other out. So got lucky there too. But yeah, looking at my teammate there leading the top, I'd say the Toyotas handle good in the pack, and they're able to make steam once we get racing.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. You kind of touched on it with Jenna, but is this a case where, despite what we saw last night with the single car speed lacking, I mean, it feels like last year all over again, where we didn't really hear much from the Toyotas until race day, but you guys are really good in the draft.
Yeah, the cars just, they made hats off to everyone at Toyota and TRD. All the work that they put in on this car has certainly paid off. We wanted to increase our performance everywhere. We also wanted to help ourselves at the speedways, and it's a really good start to see the performance gain and capability increase like it has. It gives us, the drivers, just more opportunities to be aggressive and not have to worry about, turning a fellow Toyota crossed up sideways as we try to draft.
All right, we'll go to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. A couple questions. You had talked a couple weeks ago just about the hopes with the new body with the bumper, and alluded to what happened to you last year because of the bumper and the situation. How does this new body, this bumper, what does this allow you to do, pushing and being pushed now?
Yeah, I didn't get pushed a lot tonight, to be honest with you, but it looked like, but from on the 43 with Eric Jones and Martin Truex, that they were able to be pretty aggressive with one another, and that paid dividends. They're able to get to the front pretty quick. So it looks like you can receive bumps and not get as crossed up. So, yeah, I don't have personal experience with that, but we'll get together and talk about, our first outing with this brand new Camry, and we'll be prepared for the race Sunday.
And you had talked about the other day just about you needing to run laps at speedway races, and you hadn't done the early part of last year, and then you felt like the last 2 speedway races you had learned lessons and been able to go to the front, go ahead and run the race. How did those experiences from the last 2 speedway races help you do what you needed to do tonight?
It certainly helps some, but to a degree too, you're kind of erasing where you used to have your limits. Like, okay, this is aggressive as I can be pushing, and this is aggressive. This is the most aggressive that someone can be pushing me without getting into trouble. So you kind of had to start from a new benchmark, if you will, and build. But like I said, just watching the cars ahead be aggressive, the other Toyotas do what they were doing, and it working was a really good sign. So yeah, some of it certainly helped gaining some experience last year at the tail end, finally, running laps and finishing some of those races. But tonight just was kind of, we were just kind of in the right spot at the right time, kind of like you saw at Ricky Stenhouse and, some of these other drivers that have been able to make hay late. It kind of came to us to a degree.
All right, we're going to go upstairs to the press box.
No questions from the press box.
All right, we'll come back downstairs to Chris.
Hey, Tyler. So you've now won right over here to your right, yeah. You've now won at Daytona in 3 different series and in 3 different manufacturers, which is a pretty unique stat that just occurred to me. Can you speak to some of the differences in those 3 wins on both those 2 levels?
Yeah, I mean, on the truck side, it was a bit like that race kind of unfolded a bit like how the next gen car races. I was so new to it. TJ Majors was doing a lot to kind of shape my young mind at that time, because I knew what Dirty Air was from my dirt late model racing days. But I was kind of just listening back then and just doing what he said. And, we got to our first race together here with JRM. That was kind of the craziest day I've ever had in a race car with all the things that went wrong. I literally couldn't even accelerate out of the zone on my own power. So to win that race was just a wild week in itself. But yeah, for me in this race, it's probably the smoothest race I've had at a speedway that's turned into a victory. I think a lot of my super speedway wins have been chaotic from start to finish. This one had the potential to be in that. I tried to make it really crazy in the beginning, but thankfully we kind of stuck to our plan, and the cycle still turned out okay. And just, I had a kind of a mindset on that restart, what I needed to do, and it kind of all came together for me.
All right. believe that's all the questions we have. Tyler, congratulations again, and we wish you the best of luck on Sunday in the Daytona 500.
Thank you, guys.